Hey, I'm Q Paul. Welcome to Lesson 6 in our series. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to ask where a particular item or person is. But before we do that, I want to share some more tips with you so you can improve your pronunciation. Hopefully you remember that one of the keys to correctly pronouncing Spanish words is to really focus on those 5 vowels. Remember, the vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. Well, we're going to cover another very important part, and that's knowing which syllable to stress in the word. Knowing which syllable to stress is important no matter what language you speak. Take a look at the sentence on the board. If I stress the wrong syllables, it's going to sound very different. Put the emphasis on the correct syllable. Now, when it comes to English, knowing which syllable to stress is sometimes not very clear. Take a look at the example on the board. Refuse and refuse. There's nothing in those words that tells me I should be stressing a different syllable. Fortunately for you, you already speak English, so you don't have to worry about that one. When it comes to Spanish, it's going to be much easier. As long as you remember the 3 rules, you'll always put the emphasis on the correct syllable. All right, let's get started. Here's rule 1. If the Spanish word ends in a vowel or the letters N or S, you're going to stress the next to last syllable. Here are 4 examples. Don't worry if you don't know what the words mean. We're focusing on pronunciation. It's going to be the next to last syllable. I put a small arrow to help you out. Camisas, anillo, playa, orden. Here's rule 2. If the word ends in any other letter, you're going to stress the last syllable. And 4 examples: animal, comer, legal, actividad. And rule 3 is probably the easiest to remember. If there's an accent mark in the word, that's where you're going to put the stress. Confrontación, árbol, común, justificación. Well, those are the 3 rules. That wasn't too difficult, was it? Keep them in mind as we move through the rest of the lesson. Now the time has come to learn your first mega verb. I call them mega verbs because they dramatically boost your Spanish. These are words you can use in a wide variety of situations and grammatical constructions. The Spanish verb we're going to be covering is estar, and it means to be. There are actually 2 different Spanish verbs for to be, estar and ser. Now, they're not interchangeable. They're used in completely different ways. We're going to talk more about that in a future lesson. For today, we're only going to focus on estar. The verb estar is used for temporary conditions, like I'm sick, meaning right now, and for location. Since the name of this particular lesson is location, 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 that's where we're going to focus today. Now, estar in that form is the infinitive. It means it's unchanged. We're going to have to do some simple conjugation to be able to use it. Now, here's 2 simple plug-and-play phrases that'll cover most scenarios. Here they are. The only difference between the 2 is how many things you're looking for. If you're only looking for one person or item, use the first one. ¿Dónde está? Plus singular item. If there's more than one, you'll use the second phrase. ¿Dónde están? Plus plural item. Let's take these one at a time. We'll start with singular items because I also want to teach you a little bit more about nouns. Here are some examples. ¿Dónde está la playa? Where's the beach? ¿Dónde está el hotel? Where's the hotel? We briefly discussed this earlier, but in Spanish, every noun is either masculine or feminine, and even the word the will change. In the first sentence, playa is feminine, so it's la playa, the beach. In the second, hotel, which is masculine, so it's el hotel. Here are 3 examples. Now I encourage you to create your own sentences. These are just for example purposes. ¿Dónde está la silla? ¿Dónde está la mesa? ¿Dónde está la mesera? Here are 3 more sample sentences. Everything we're looking for is masculine, so we're going to be using el for the. ¿Dónde está el baño? ¿Dónde está el taxi? ¿Dónde está el mesero? See, that wasn't very difficult at all. Let's move on to the plural construction. This one is ¿Dónde están? Plus plural item. See, we only made a small change to the verb. When you make your nouns plural, even the word the will change. For masculine nouns, you're going to use los. And for feminine nouns, you're going to use las. Here are two examples of sentences utilizing plural feminine nouns. ¿Dónde están las sillas? ¿Dónde están las llaves? Here are two examples utilizing plural masculine nouns. ¿Dónde están los tacos? ¿Dónde están los zapatos? If you're looking for a specific person by name, you just plug their name in the singular construction. ¿Dónde está Juan? ¿Dónde está María? Now, when you're looking at a group and it's made up of both men and women, you're going to use the masculine form. So even if you have 15 waitresses and only one waiter, it's going to be meseros, masculine. All right, now we're going to talk about making statements with this verb. When somebody asks us, where is the chair? We want to be able to say the chair is in the kitchen. These are two simple plug-and-play phrases you can use to do that. There's one for a singular item and one for a plural item. Here are two examples. La silla está en la cocina. The chair is in the kitchen. Juan está en la playa. Juan is on the beach. En can mean in or on, depending on context. Now, if you're clear who the subject of the sentence is, you can actually leave it out completely. Here's an example. ¿Dónde está el cuchillo? Where's the knife? Está en la cocina. It is in the kitchen. Even though there's no other word for it in that sentence, we translate it in English as it is. The plug-and-play phrases that I've shown you today work really well in conjunction with what you learned in Lesson 5. That was the word I. Use the word I to see if something exists. Once you know it exists, then you can ask for the specific location. Here's an example of what I mean. ¿Hay vino tinto?
Sí hay.
¿Dónde está el vino?
Jiji, está en mi estómago.
That's it for today's lesson. I encourage you to go and make up your own sentences utilizing these plug-and-play phrases. Look up Spanish nouns that interest you and just plug them in. It's a good way to practice your pronunciation too. Hasta luego.